Welcome back. You're here for another episode of Paper Route. I'm Corey in the Holmes, a.k.a. Corey in the Cut. I got Nicole Moss with me, and I got DeSean Jackson with me. And we got a wonderful show for y'all today. How my two Road Dogs feeling?
Did you mess up your own name?
How?
You said Corey in the Holmes. You meant Corey in the Cut.
No,
Corey
I didn't.
Holmes. You definitely did.
No, I didn't. DJ, did I do that? No way I opened the show like that.
Low key.
Low key.
Oh my gosh.
You said Corey in the Holmes when you meant to say I'm Corey Holmes.
I'm
aka
Corey Holmes.
In the Cut.
That's really wild. I'm Corey Holmes, a.k.a. Corey in the Cut. I could have swore it came out just like that. I'm with Nicole Moss and DeSean Jackson.
There you go.
No way I fumbled the bag off the top like that. But I tell you what, maybe it's just my excitement because the Heat took game 1 in Boston.
God.
Maybe that's what it's about. Oh my goodness. So we're going to talk about that, of course. Yo, DJ, with the Heat, with the Heat taking game 1, you don't even have to know much about the game. You think they got a chance to take the series?
Man, from the get-go, I honestly knew the Heat definitely could make some noise in this series. What I didn't think they was going to take game 1 in Boston, I didn't think they was going to be able to make that possible.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler, man, I don't know if too many people are familiar, but last year when they lost to Boston, he specifically said, we're going to have a better chance and we're going to have better pieces. And we're not going to forget this moment. So I think Jimmy Butler had a lot of things on his chest he had to get off last night. And, man, he played a hell of a game last night. And I'm excited to see this series right here, man. Miami, with them being the 8th seed and playing in the the play-in to get to where they're at now in the conference finals, I didn't see that coming, man. So I'm excited to see how this series is going to turn out because everybody's talking about Boston and the Lakers. So I think, the underdogs are stepping up right now. I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely, man. We got D-Jack. We got Antoine Walker coming on later, one of our other NBA basketball contributors, so we'll get his thoughts on that. But Ashley, real quick, we're going to dive into it a little bit later. How you feeling about the Heat right now after game 1?
I don't have any comments.
Oh, my
No.
God. The Knickerbocker fan in her don't even want to address it. She don't even want to talk about it.
No, I will say, I'm not somebody who likes to make series predictions off of one game. I think in the course of a 7-game series, a lot can happen, a lot will happen. I will say, though, that the thing that makes me nervous about Boston and, works on the side of favor for Miami is, and Shaq was speaking about this, and this is something that I've spoken about, regarding this Boston team specifically, is their style of play is way too roller coaster. It's up, it's down. You never know which version of the Boston Celtics you're going to get night in and night out. Miami, whether win or lose, they play consistent. Sometimes it works in their favor and sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, of course, there are adjustments and different schemes and things that Spoelstra will do, for different games, different series. But you know which version of that team you're going to get. And, every team has a bad night. Sometimes they'll have a bad night. But for the most part, you know what version you'll get. You can't play how the Boston Celtics played last night where it's like, you know what, we're going to start playing basketball in the second half. You can't do that. You can maybe do that against the Atlanta Hawks. You can maybe do that, against the 76ers. You can't do that against a Miami Heat team. You also can't do that against a Miami Heat team that is better, I believe, is better coached. Spoelstra's been there before. He has multiple rings. Joe Mazzulla, not taking anything away from him and what he'll accomplish in the NBA, he's a young coach. He's still kind of the saying goes, he's wet behind the ears a little bit. So he's still trying to go ahead and figure certain things out. And Spoelstra is the coach that will go ahead and capitalize off of every mistake that you make. So, like I said, I still have Boston winning the series, but I do think that they're going to have to play Boston Celtics basketball, their best basketball consistently, or Miami can definitely steal this.
Yep. Matt, you're listening to Paper Route on Faction Talk, Sirius XM, channel 103. And we got DeSean Jackson on with us. And, of course, I'm with Nicole Moss. Yo, now, D-Jack, we're going to get into, some football stuff. Yesterday we heard from Christian McCaffrey, on his trade to the 49ers and, what emotions he felt when he initially traded. And we're also going to get your top 5, receivers, right, going into the 2023 season. But first, it's Thursday, right? Happy Thursday, but it's also Throwback Thursday. Yo, so before we bang it off, DJ, I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite touchdown in your career? Like, what was the most favorite play that stood out to you in your career? And listen, but look, why you think about that, right? I got 2 plays I wanted to roll. Let's roll that first one. Maybe some of these will fall into that category.
For sure.
Waits. And it's a line drive kick.
The Giants.
Jackson bobbles
Woo in the West don't like this one. He don't like this one.
He's probably a Dolphin.
And BC too. BC too in the back. BC in the back don't like this one.
Are you kidding?
I don't like it.
DeSean Jackson. Still
He
not
killed
in.
it.
And
I
he
gotta
trolls
give him
y'all at the
Listen.
same time.
D-Jack, I was a little boy watching this. I was with my dad. My dad, an Eagles fan. I can tell you, we was in disbelief. We couldn't believe what we was watching. That's personally my favorite player of yours. I can honestly say that. But we got another one too.
Wait, you were a little boy?
I had to have been. What year was that? What year was that, DJ? You remember?
2010.
2010. I was a freshman in high school. I was a freshman All-American too, D-Jack. St. Thomas Aquinas. You know what I'm saying? I had to throw that in there. D-Jack was the inspiration though. I was trying to be D-Jack on the
I was
field.
a senior in high school. It's
Yeah.
not that much. But you said a little boy. I said, ain't no way you were a little boy.
I was a youngin'. I was a youngin', freshman in high school.
Yeah.
But check me out. We got another clip too. I mean, you can still sit on your answer, but we got another clip. Let's roll that second. You was thinking right before you fell into the end zone like that.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That one right there, that was a spare moment thing, man. Like I was like, for one, that was like what 91 yards running through the field.
91.
All them defenders trying to run down and get me, man. It was like my ankle was killing me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. At the end, it was just like, man, I went through all this. I said, man, let me count these dudes real quick. So I turned around, and just fell back in the end zone. Hey, Terrence Newman, he was sick. He was like, man, this little dude did all that and fell on the end zone in my face.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that was just you, right? When you were in your prime, like you just gonna take over a game in a split second, right? 91 yards. So I mean, did one of those two, were one of those two the ones you was thinking that might have been your favorite player, or is it something else?
Honestly, man, so the first one obviously was a big one. I think all time one of the biggest plays of my career. When you asked that question, for me, it was kind of hard to even answer because, I had so many big plays, iconic plays. But it was one more that I would have thought about, too, was the first play of Monday Night Football when we played Washington in D.C. Michael Vick
threw that big post to you.
80-yard pass. But overall, if I had to pick one, it would definitely be the punt return versus the Giants, man. Just to end the game, 13 seconds left. To send them home after they thought they was making the playoffs. That was their run. They was going crazy. I think the year before, I don't know if they went to the Super Bowl the year before or the year after, but like that year was huge for them. They thought they was about to go back to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So for them to lose that game, like, man, every New Yorker, every Giant fan, they literally can't stand me, bro, off that one play.
Right. Sorry, Woo. Sorry, BC. I'm sorry we had to do that to y'all.
Either,
you know what I'm saying?
for different reasons, obviously.
Well,
but no.
I'll be getting random people be like, man, I can't stand you. I'm like, why, man? He's like, yeah, you know what you did.
Right. Hey, man, but we needed that highlight. Honestly, we needed that.
Who's the one player you can't stand because you have bad memories, like of what they used to do to your team?
Who, me?
No, Corey. Who's the one player you can't stand because they used to do terrible things to Miami Dolphins? Tom Brady?
I mean, yeah, gotta. Well, not because you know what, the Dolphins always seem to get the Patriots number here and there though. Like on like a prime time, it'd be randomly on like a prime time game. We'll just beat the Patriots. Then you remember the miracle in Miami? That was one of the.
Okay, so who would be the player then?
But player, who? You said. I mean, man, I know, right?
Be a
it's
player.
just like
we can't do front office. That's cheating.
It was just teams in general, but like I can't think of one.
Okay, what team then?
The Bills, honestly, I've been tired of the Bills as of late, right? The Bills been getting on my nerves as of late. They really been working us in that division. But I don't know, man. It's like I'm just a forward thinker. I've been thinking about what the future looks like for the
lame
Dolphins.
Answer. D-Jack, what about you? What's one player or one team that, like, when you were playing, and even maybe today, you still harbor just mad animosity towards?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would think I would have to go back to LaRon Landry when he played for Washington, man. It was one of them hated rivalries, hated players that me and him kind of never really liked each other on the field. Every time we played him, he always would go beyond the game. He used to get very personal, and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's football. It should never get that personal. But some guys take the game very personal and serious, but he used to just say things that kind of was like overboard disrespectful. And I'm like, bro, we playing football. At the end of the day, you can't talk about personal stuff. So I never really liked him after that. You know, he said a few things which I ain't gonna really get into.
Yeah.
But he said some things, and I was just like, yeah, dog, I can't respect you. Every time I'm gonna go against you, I'm gonna disrespect you to the utmost as well too, because that's basically how I felt. You know, when we had our interaction.
I feel that. Mine is no secret. It's obvious. Team-wise, the Philadelphia Eagles.
And probably that guy right there.
No. Player-wise, Eli freaking Manning.
Yeah.
I
he's
hated
Cowboy
Eli
killer.
Manning.
Yeah.
I hated the way he breathed. I hated the way his helmet fit his head.
Oh,
I
man.
hated how his head looked when he took his helmet off.
Yeah.
I hated the way that he
helmet.
smiled. I hated the way he stared at the end zone. I hated the way he gave his post-game interviews. I hated everything about Eli Manning.
Oh,
everything.
my goodness.
Everything
Oh,
about
my
him.
goodness.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to move on, right? So Christian McCaffrey, he described, like I was saying at the top of the show, the trade to the 49ers as the best thing that ever happened to him, right? So he went on, again, to detail really the emotions he felt when he was traded away from Carolina. This is what he said. He said, in hindsight, I firmly believe it's the best thing that ever happened to me. But at the time, it was bittersweet, right? This is what McCaffrey told the Mercury News. I mean, you're leaving, and in my head, I'm pissed off, to be frank. I felt like you guys don't want me anymore, and that's what it is, and it is what it is, right? So, again, that was Christian McCaffrey. Right, you know, again, those were his reactions to after he got traded to the 49ers. Now, mind you, last year for the 49ers, in the 11 games that he played with them, he accumulated 1,210 yards from scrimmage and added 6 touchdowns. Now, his 4.7 yards per carry was actually the most he averaged since his all-pro year in 2019 when he was with the Panthers. And we know that year, I mean, he went off, right? So, D-Jack, I wanted to ask you, though, is Christian McCaffrey's best football ahead of him? Do you think he's in the perfect spot with the San Francisco 49ers?
Man, you know, Christian McCaffrey, you know, since he came out from Stanford, in my eyes, you know, to be a young player in the NFL, to come in and make some blossoming plays, you know, in my eyes, the only thing that ever held him back was injuries. So for him to be able to get a new start, fresh start, to be able to come into 49ers, you know, coming into offense with the receiver, like Deebo Samuels, that actually has a kind of similar playing skill. He could go in the backfield and run the ball and be in Shanahan's offense, to me, is a great niche to have, like a guy like him to be able to come in and play like that. So for me, I think his best football is yet to come. I will say he has a lot of pieces. He has a great offensive line. My boy Trent Williams at left tackle. And just the way he's able to hit the holes. I think a lot of people don't realize once he hit the hole and he makes that move, that quick twitch move, man, like he gets so quickly to the second defenders that by the time the defenders come down to tackle him, it's almost too late because he's shifty. Right. I mean, to be, you know, man, that type of player, man. I mean, he's definitely a one of a kind player, and I just think as long as he doesn't have injuries, he's definitely going to be a special kid in this NFL, man. Absolutely.
Ashley, what you think?
Yeah, I agree with the point about as long as he doesn't have injuries, because, you know, in football, every year, in life rather, not football, not just football, in life every year you get older, right? In football years, some may say you age a little bit more than a normal person. It's kind of like aging in dog years, if you will, because of just all the hits and the strain and just the intensity of the game. So I will say skill set wise, I think his best days are ahead of him. I think that he really is now in the prime of his career. You know, Brandon loves talking about the prime of the athlete's career, and it normally happens around year 6, year 7 is when it starts, Brandon will always say. But injuries or lack thereof, health permitting, is going to be huge, especially, you know, the way he plays football. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing to watch. But I also think he's in an environment that's conducive to sustaining his health versus when he was in Carolina. He basically was the offense once, you know, they kind of were going through that transition phase. They were, you know, riding him a lot. Is that a pause moment? Do I have to say pause?
Nah, you don't have to.
Oh, I was going to say, because, like, I know, like, y'all, like,
Brandon
pause,
said
but I'm
that.
a girl. So
if Brandon would have said that, I would have had to pause.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't have to do that. But, you know, and the more strain on your body, the more somebody uses you, the more, likely it is to cause injury. Look what happened with Ezekiel Elliott. We used him a lot in Dallas. He was our offense. And that, I believe, is one of the reasons why he's dealing with the situation he's dealing with now. A lot of injuries have cost him that explosiveness of his career, and he's not the same running back he was when he first got there, and that's because he has a lot of miles on him. So hopefully, the 49ers have multiple schemes, so it's not just Christian McCaffrey. I think that they do. They're really good at that. So I agree. I think his best football is definitely ahead of him.
DJ, how you feel about the quarterback situation in San Francisco, right? Like, they're going to have Trey Lance.
I'm
they got Brock
confused
Purdy.
by it.
I like Purdy, man. Purdy's, man, he has a lot of upside. Like I said, I have a great relationship with Trent Williams. And when I asked him about Jimmy Garoppolo leaving and Trey Lance, and he was just like, man, nah, Purdy's the guy, man. And I think, seeing what he did last year, and I told him, Trent's one of the closest, friends I have in the NFL, so we talk a lot. But last year, when I actually had a chance to go to the NFC Championship game when they played in Philly, and I remember Purdy was on like a 6-game streak where he was going crazy on fire, and I just knew it was going to be one of them games where he ran into him like, man, he can't keep playing this good. And it actually was the Philadelphia Eagles that stopped him. But he was like, man, if he didn't get hurt, because, his elbow kind of got messed up when he threw that ball. But he's like, if he didn't get hurt, man, we was gonna win that game. And I'm like, y'all ran up versus different dudes that day. But I think Purdy, man, has some upside. Trey Lance, he's shown glimpses of it here and there, but I'm not too sold on Trey so far. But yeah, Purdy, man, I think Purdy's a guy, man. I think he's gonna have a heck of a year this year.
Yeah.
My only confusion is if you don't go with Trey Lance, Brock Purdy's coming off of a shoulder injury. They say he may or may not be ready to go by training camp. He may or may not be ready to go by preseason. Maybe even a couple of games into the regular season, he may not be ready to go. But let's say hypothetically he is, right? I like Brock Purdy too. Yeah. But let's say hypothetically he's ready to go. Trey Lance is ready to go. What did you draft Trey Lance for? Like, what did you cause that entire situation and then ultimately try to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and say we have to get rid of him because Trey's our guy, and then they ended up keeping him because Trey went down and then Jimmy went down and then Brock Purdy got his moment to shine. My confusion is what message does that send when just last season you were trying to protect the psyche of your quarterback, who you made it seem like it was your franchise quarterback because your winning quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, who we can say a lot, he does win football games. You were saying you had to remove him from the locker room because it's now Trey Lance's team. He needs to focus on being the leader. You can't do that with Jimmy Garoppolo in the same space as him. And now all of a sudden, Brock Purdy gets his moment to shine. He's the best guy, I would say, right now because we haven't really seen what Trey Lance can do. But so does that philosophy with the Jimmy Garoppolo situation now go out the window with Brock Purdy? Because that's not what the case was last season. So I'm very confused.
Yeah. No, and honestly, they're in a tough predicament, right? Like I must admit, because why I'm optimistic about Brock Purdy is because the sample that we got of him was in like playoff time, right? And it was at the end of the season when teams are really trying to figure out, where they're going to be placed in rankings in the division and whatnot, right? So when we saw him playing, it was against good competition, and he succeeded. He excelled in that small sample size that we got of him. And it's just a combination, too, of like Trey Lance just getting hurt at a very, unfortunate time. And we saw.
But what is I'm confused on like what. Then what is Trey Lance like? What is your goal with Trey Lance? Like, why is he there?
Yeah,
I look at it as this too. We have to kind of step back a moment too and realize too, like they both was in the same draft class, right? Trey Lance went first round, Purdy went a little later in the round, right? So for me, I kind of just sit back and look at it as these are decisions that GMs are making. Guess what? Sometimes these GMs are not always right, and picking first picks and taking this quarterback so early. I mean, look at Tom Brady, and I know it's a long time ago, but Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. I'm sure all the quarterbacks that was picked before him, first round, first picks, all these guys never showed up and never did anything. So I think we kind of have to step back and say, okay, yeah, he was a first round pick. And yeah, like why do they step out and make first round picks like this? But these GMs are not always right sometimes. They pick guys that might not, play out like a 4th rounder or a 6th rounder too. So yeah, I took this guy early, but hey, guess what? I might take a first rounder, but guess what? My 3rd rounder might be playing better, or he might, turn around faster than the first rounder is. I don't think Trey Lance might not be ready. And sometimes it's a lot of pressure being a first pick, a first round guy. That's a lot of pressure. Everyone's not able really to step into that mode right away and play first round ball, even though, like you said, actually they did take that pick. They did have a lot of confusion last year going back and forth with Jimmy Garoppolo, and they made a big issue. But right now, if we're going to be realistic, Purdy is the guy. And that's, in my eyes, he's proven it. Like,
I think he's earned it.
No, I agree completely.
Yeah,
I think for me, my thing is like, okay, if Trey Lance comes into the season, into training camp, and he's healthy, let's say both quarterbacks are healthy and ready to go at the start of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
You go in, like, I don't know how you can ever see. I agree. Brock Purdy had an incredible season last season, and especially like in that playoff run. But I don't know if you can ever know if Trey Lance is your guy if you never play him. So if you go with the hot hand, which I'm hearing, I agree with you guys, you got to go with the hot hand. But if they both come in healthy, and this was the guy you drafted, and this was the guy that you made it seem last season was your guy, which is why Jimmy Garoppolo had to go. If they're both healthy and you still go with Brock Purdy, how are you supposed to know if this is ever going to be your guy if you never let him play?
Yeah,
that's my confusion. Like, what's the goal with him then? Like, what are you going to do?
DJ, do you think they, allow them to compete in the preseason? Like, is that something realistic that a team would want to do? Or, like, do they let them compete through the first couple of weeks? Obviously, you want to get a good head start on the season. You want to win those games early on in the season. How do they figure this out?
It's a sticky situation, man. And, if I went back and put myself in the shoes of a GM, it's tough, man. I honestly, I'm gonna go off of the hot hand, man. I mean, Trey Lance came last year. He was healthy, and unfortunately, he got broken ankle, fractured ankle, whatever the injury was. But for me, I got to go with the hot hand. If they're both healthy at the time being, I mean, yeah, we can sprinkle in, Purdy and Trey splitting the ones, but it's like, do you really risk that? Because once again, training camp is where you build your camaraderie, where you build all that, that you look forward to the end of the season. Them moments in training camp, them reps, that's what you build, for times like coming into the playoffs. So for me, it's a very tough, tricky situation. And I think John Lynch and, Shanahan will do their best to make the decision, that they need for their guy. But if we're going to go off of team and players, I think the players on the team will co-sign more with Purdy, and that's just because they built that camaraderie and he was in there. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Trey Lance, but I'm just going to go off of me being in them locker rooms and being in tough situations. Yeah. I know how these GMs and these coaches are going to make a decision, and that's what have you done for me lately? Have you won games for me? And, Trey Lance hasn't won any games right now, so that's what he has on his edge.
Yeah, you made the point, right, that he has more of a connection with the players, and that's why I segue to the quarterbacks, because which quarterback you have on the field is obviously going to affect the play and the production of guys like Deebo Samuel, of guys like George Kittle, of guys like Christian McCaffrey, the guy that we were talking about at the top of this segment. I want to ask you, though, whose offense is this? We know, obviously, the quarterback, that'll probably just be a piece of the offense. This isn't really a team where the quarterback is really the guy. But whose offense is this? Is it Christian McCaffrey's offense or is it Deebo Samuel's offense?
I still run through Deebo.
Yeah,
it's Deebo Samuel's, man. I can't remember a player to ever do what he's done. I mean, to go in the backfield and play running back,
right,
and run the ball how he runs the ball. Like, I see this guy taking on 5 to 6 defenders at one time and still running past him, and then not only running past him, running through him.
Right, straight through him.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at it as it being, yeah, it's Deebo Samuel's offense, but you have a running back. You have two running backs. I can't think of the other young running back too. He's had a few injuries too. This, playing for the 49ers. Who's the other running back they have?
Yeah, I know we got Wu, our fact checker. He could look that up for us right quick. I know I'm trying to think of who the other back is.
Yeah, young dude. The young dude. He's a baller.
Yep, Wu in the West on it. He's on it. He's gonna have it in a couple seconds.
Yeah, but I think it definitely
Jeff
still
Wilson, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason.
They got Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell is good.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell. What is he in second year, third year?
Yeah, he is younger. Yeah, he's good. He's quick too. I like him, and he got size. He's gonna be
baller.
Yeah. No, I agree. But all right, man. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the 49ers. I mean, Ashley, I know we wanted to ask you that question too. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, would you kind of co-sign what D-Jack said? You think that's Deebo Samuel's offense?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But that's listen, the 49ers have a fantastic team, and they have such a great team because it's not reliant. A lot of football teams are reliant on what quarterback they have, in that pocket. The 49ers have this plug offense where it's like we can function with virtually any quarterback that can throw the ball at least 7 yards. Like, we don't need you to be Brady. We don't need you to be Montana. We don't need you to be Aaron Rodgers. We need you to just be decent, and we got the rest. And that's so impressive, and that makes a team so dangerous to not be reliant on the quarterback position. And it's a testament to that front office and to that coaching staff to be able to build a team like that. And we've seen it like in real time go through so many different quarterbacks in such a short amount of time, and the up and down at that position, and how it has not really affected them drastically to where we're saying, oh, they fell back this year, or oh, they took a couple steps. Like, they're always in it. Like, you can never count them out. It's impressive. I have a lot of respect for the 49ers for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you think that playoff game ends differently if Hassan Reddick doesn't hit Purdy's arm and kind of mess up his elbow? Do you think that playoff game ends a little differently?
I do.
I mean, you got to,
I do.
Yeah, you got to say yes to that. Do the 49ers win? I don't want to go as far as saying that maybe, but I think it had been a closer game.
Yeah.
It definitely been a closer
100%.
game.
I agree with that.
But remember though, early in that game, he still struggled a little bit. That defensive line for the Eagles definitely was coming.
Right.
And I don't want to say he was rattled, but he definitely wasn't the Purdy that we was used to seeing the previous four or five games before that. So, I kind of always go back because they always say, well, when talking to Trent, we would have played the Chiefs better than the Eagles played. Like, I'm like, at the end of the day, the Eagles really didn't play bad. Besides that fumble that Jalen Hurts had when the guy ran it back, I mean, it wasn't really a bad game by the Eagles. It just happened to be.
I mean, they scored 35 points.
Andy Reid made some heck of adjustments in that second half, man.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a game, though. But I'm interested to see, man. Purdy, he was on fire for a few games, but I think if we're going to be honest, I think San Francisco 49ers are the talk of the talk in the NFC West. I think they're the top. They was the Rams before that when they had the Super Bowl year. Aaron Donald, all these guys were going crazy. But I think right now they're the team of the NFC West.
Yeah, no, I'd say so too, 49ers. All right, D-Jack, it's time, though. We're going to hop into your top 5 wide receivers going into 2023. I want to see who's on your list. I want to see if I agree with all top 5. Maybe we'll see if there's some people that we should add in. We'll even see what people in the comments are saying, as you list your 5. But, let's do it. Let's hop into it. Who's your top 5 receivers heading into next season?
And it's bittersweet, man. And the reason why I'm gonna say this is because it's some dogs out there, man. And a top 5 is always gonna be hard because it's like I'm gonna leave some people out that should be in. But for me, I'm gonna just put my best foot forward. I think my top 5, honestly, is some dogs, man. So number 1, and I'm gonna put them in order. This is my order. Number 1, I'm gonna go with my boy Devontae Adams, so we talked about yesterday.
Okay, yeah, that's only right.
I'm going with Devontae. Number 2, I'm gonna go with my boy, and for him to be under 6 feet and the way he plays, I can't fight this one. I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill, number 2.
He's always in my top 5.
Tyreek Hill, number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna go with my Buffalo Bill. I'm gonna go with my boy Stephon Diggs.
Okay. That's fair.
Number 4, I'm going to go my young homie. I'm going to go Double J, Justin Jefferson.
Okay, all right. I was hoping he was going to name him. I'm like, I ain't heard Justin Jefferson yet.
Justin Jefferson. And my 5th one, man, I know I'm going to spice it up a little bit right here, but this dude a dog, man. And I won't say he doesn't get enough credit, but, man, the way he plays and his physical style, man, I gotta go my boy A.J. Brown for number 5.
Okay.
Whoa, no Jamar Chase?
Yeah. AJ was one I wasn't expecting. I ain't gonna lie.
You heard what I said when I
he said he was gonna spice it up.
Right, he did say he was gonna spice it up.
Spice it up a little bit. So yeah, that's my top 5, man. Y'all can give me kickback if y'all want, but Jamar Chase, he a dog. I love his game, but it's so hard. Like who am I gonna take out over him?
I know.
Like just who?
But AJ Brown,
I would have taken AJ out over.
Yeah,
Jamar.
you got the Jamar Chases. You also got the Keenan Allens. I think he might be in like the top 7 or 8 conversation maybe. But yeah, no, Jamar Chase, that's interesting. I mean, I think he has a lot.
He
to
said
prove
he was gonna spice it up.
Yeah.
All right, let me say why. Okay, my number 5 is AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown, right? Let's just go back to when he was in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
he's hands down a vocal. Like you have to keep eyes on him. You can't not think about him. You can't not double him. I mean, his size alone, and not only his size, when he catches the ball, like if we go back over my top four, like I think he's the best player, physical, style, structure, doesn't really get hurt too much. I mean, he's had a few injuries here and there, but when he has the ball in his hands, all my other top receivers that I have, besides like a Tyreek Hill or somebody like that, like he's gonna run you over. He's gonna be physical. He can run every route. He can be a vertical threat. He's gonna catch the physical catches. He's gonna get hit. He's gonna take a hit, and he's still gonna outrun people. So for me, he has a different size to his game that a lot of people don't really give him credit for. So I would think he might not be the flashy, do all this, crazy stuff. But I mean, he gets the job done at a high level.
Yeah. No,
okay, but if you had to pick the games on the line, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, who you going with?
I mean, in that instance, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Jamar Chase has really been in my top 5. He has, but it's always hard for me because Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, they're almost like the same player in a sense. They're different, but they're in the same player. They both come from LSU. They both have, that's the Odell era. They all come from LSU. So for me, I love Jamar Chase's game, and it's nothing against Jamar Chase, but I'm still gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with my boy A.J. Brown, man. He came to Philadelphia, man, and he held it down, man. He balled out, and him and Devontae Smith did some crazy things together. So I'm gonna stick with him. I ain't gonna turn my back on my dog. Even though you just gave me
let's go ahead
a tough question.
Let's kick it.
Even though you gave me a tough question, I'm still riding with my dog A.J. Brown. I said it.
No, that's
before Wu throws in a fact here, we're gonna go ahead and throw it to the chat. Listen, game on the line. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, who you guys going with? Type the name in there, and we'll see how many of y'all agree with D-Jack. Maybe.
I know what they gonna say.
Maybe there's some who'll be in your favor.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
The flashy.
We already got one guy that said A.J. Brown. Brother Dean said he's taking A.J. Brown.
He's proven to be clutch. Somebody said
Joseph Whitebird, says that he's taking A.J. Brown. So far you got 2 in your favor, D-Jack. So far we got 2.
This my thing though. Jamar Chase, he's the more of the famous player. He's more of the big time receiver. A.J. Brown is big time, but if we're gonna go off of like stats and clouts, not stats, but like clout and like not statistic. What am I trying to say?
Notoriety.
I guess clout. Yeah, Jamar Chase is just more.
He's more of like the fan favorite.
The jury.
He's more the fan favorite.
He got the swag. He got more of the swag. So I would say on that he wins.
Yeah. and I mean, maybe after a couple years.
What's your stat, Wu?
Yeah.
So as DJ was saying, it's a fact. A.J. Brown is 30 pounds heavier than every wide receiver that he named.
Yeah.
And I just found this out. His nickname is Swole Batman.
Swole Batman.
That's his nickname.
Swole Batman.
Yeah. So it's a fact.
Who gave him that nickname? Is that like a self-proclaimed nickname, or was that actually given?
Football has all the nicknames.
I think the past
he's 30 pounds heavier than every one of them.
I think the past year in Philly, I think they had the little stigma where Devontae Smith he had a nickname too. They all had like nicknames. Batman.
It was all Batmans, right? That's what I thought.
They all were Batmans, but they were different because Quez.
I think I did hear that.
Quez was in there too. Quez was like the speed Batman. Devontae was like the shifty one.
Yeah, skinny Batman or like shifty Batman. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Because my next question was gonna be swole Batman doesn't seem necessary because we all know Batman's swole. So like I didn't understand, but now that makes sense. Everyone's Batman. Okay, can we get a count on these Jamar Chase versus A.J. Brown poll? Because I feel like I'm seeing a lot of A.J. Browns in the chat. I feel like people are with you on this.
Some people even threw in Debo's name in there. I forgot about Debo.
Debo wasn't an option though.
Yeah. No. But I'm just saying like in the
top
top 5,
receivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Man, it's hard. This is hard. This is a hard question.
There's a lot of good receivers, and I think it's hard too when you got established receivers. You got the young receivers who have come in hot and really made a name for themselves early on. So it is tough, but it's good to see that we got a good generation of receivers now. But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see a lot more chases now.
Someone said that DK Metcalf is better than every wide receiver in the NFL.
And then not number one.
I was gonna say DK could be in there too, but I'm going off of I'm putting playoff ball in this too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like what you gonna do when times get tough? What you gonna do? And the season is done with the regular season. Like I'm looking into the playoffs. Like that's a lot of these guys play some tough ball. Stephon Diggs, he's balling out. Devontae, he didn't make the playoffs last year, but I'm going back to when he was in Green Bay. So, you know, I gotta put them in as well too. You know how guys play. You know when the crunch time and when the game's on.
Yeah, it's just like basketball. Gotta be able to come in clutch, right? What was that, Will?
I was just gonna say that I'm seeing a lot more Chase, but the reason I'm seeing on Chase is his celebrations. He's been in bigger games.
Flashy.
So you're starting to see it lean that way because of his.
That doesn't mean that he can go ahead and win it for you if the game's on the line,
Right.
though. Just because he has better touchdown dances, that doesn't mean anything.
He's a little more flashy. I told you, he's more swaggy. Like, yeah, he's the swaggy guy. We're gonna pick the swaggy guy. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Respect.
Like I said, he's a fan favorite, so understandable. All right, we're gonna move on. So next, right, in Daily Route, we got a tweet from Dan Orlovsky. We got word on the tweet coming on a little bit later, but I wanted to dive into this conversation. So in his tweet, right, what he did was he split up, he basically categorized some quarterbacks, right? He said quarterbacks you could win with in 2023. He referred to Allen, that's obviously Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. You got Trevor Lawrence on there, Josh Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts.
No, those are quarterbacks you win because of.
I read it wrong.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks you win because of, right? So that was his first category. Second category is quarterbacks you'll win a lot with, right? So I'm assuming this is like a tier kind of underneath that, right? Quarterbacks you win because of. This one is quarterbacks you will win a lot with. He has Tua Tagovailoa on there. He has Mac Jones. He has Jimmy Garoppolo. He has Dak Prescott. He has Jared Goff. He has Kirk Cousins, and he has Geno Smith. And then here, D-Jack, right, he has big seasons of answering questions ahead, right? So he feels these are the quarterbacks that still have, you know, questions to answer. Matt Stafford, right? So he was hurt majority of last year. He wants to see how he, you know, bounces back. You got Desmond Ridder. He's the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, or their, you know, expected starter day one. You got Justin Fields, quarterback of the, you know, the Chicago Bears. You got Jones, and I'm assuming he's referring to Daniel Jones, quarterback of the Giants. You got Russell, right? Russell Wilson, Broncos quarterback. You got Deshaun Watson, Browns quarterback, and you got Kenny Pickett, Steelers quarterback, right? So what I wanted to do to Deshaun, you and Ashley, right? I wanted to ask you guys to kind of categorize the quarterbacks in that, you know, the head scratchers, right? The ones that need to answer the questions, the ones in that third category. If you had to place them in one of the two, you know, categories to, you know, to the left, what category would you put those quarterbacks in?
I will say, for starters, Dak's in the wrong category, but we can argue that a different time.
What? Hold on.
Yes,
hold on.
because hold on. Brandon Marshall sat in this very seat and ran Dak Prescott's numbers, and they are up there with where I don't even see him on this list.
Did you just say numbers?
Yes, he
said, "Do we want to talk numbers?"
Where is Brandon? What I needed?
How
He
many
did this.
playoff wins?
Okay,
I'm gonna see if I can pull that graphic.
How many
I think I
playoff
have
wins
it.
does Justin Herbert have?
He's younger.
Oh, okay, technicality.
I got to fact check real quick. Two things Dak led in last year. Interceptions.
Oh my God, interception! We all know he had a bad season.
Interceptions, and I don't want to hear all he's been hurt. Interceptions, he throws to the other team.
I will say, watching Cowboys games my entire life, there have been games that we have won because of Dak Prescott, because he's had over 400 passing yards and he has done everything himself. So you can definitely win because of him. I have seen it.
Ashley, hold on, Ashley. Did you just hear what you said?
What?
Because of games he has won.
Yeah.
He's a $30+ million quarterback. He should be doing that. He's not doing nothing he's not supposed to be doing. I need more. I need less interceptions. If I'm paying you 30+, I need less interceptions, please.
That was 1 year. 1 year.
1 year?
When he led the league in interceptions? Yeah, it was 1 year.
Okay, 1 year he led the league, but that's not been 1 year that he's thrown interceptions. He's thrown multiple interceptions year after year in.
I tried, Dak. I tried.
Yeah.
I
4
tried.
out of
like
7
that.
double digits.
I like Dak as a quarterback, but I just feel like you're gonna get what you're gonna get with Dak. He's not like he's not going to win you the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. If I'm going to spoil your dreams, he's not going to win y'all the Super Bowl. And this every year, we always deal with the same Cowboy team every year.
The reaction.
Oh, this is the year. This is the year. Every year.
Expression.
This is the year. And then playoffs come.
I kind of feel my eyes starting to tear up. Hold on.
He's hurting.
I can't believe he just said that to me on live air.
He's hurting. She's
Hey,
hurting.
you know what? It's a little it's bittersweet with me. I'm always on y'all edge because of the rival I've had. But I mean, I just have to be realistic, man. Like I don't know, and y'all do have our number. As far as when I was a Philadelphia Eagle, y'all have our number. Y'all have won more games than we've won. But guess what? I've always done the damage.
Yeah.
So don't think I'm just being hard on y'all. I'm really just being a player that loves the game, and I sit back and analyze. So I think Dak is a hell of a player. I just feel like his decision making sometimes, and
I'll give you that.
The things he does, like I'm like, why would you throw that pass? Like you try to force things in, and it's just like, I don't know. Like I just don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback. I'm sorry.
Hey, well, how about this, Ashley, to make y'all easier in categories and these quarterbacks? I'm just gonna say, is this a quarterback you could win a lot with, or you win because of? And I'll go through the list. All right? Matt Stafford, quarterback you could win a lot with, or a quarterback you win because of?
You can win a lot with.
What you think, DJ?
That's a tough one, man. I'm 50-50.
What?
He does have a Super Bowl ring.
I'm 50-50 with that one, man. And the reason why I say that is because Stafford is a hell of a player. He's kind of fallen the A-ball because he was in Detroit all them years, and I guess he didn't have the team. But he had a Calvin Johnson for years, and he had the statistics. But put him with a great team like the Rams, he wins a Super Bowl. So depending on his staff, his supporting cast,
yeah.
I'll say 50-50.
Okay, that's fair. And
you definitely, it's a quarterback you can win
just
with,
win
not
with,
because
not
you
because
win
of.
No.
Okay. All right. Next one. Quarterback you win with, or quarterback you win because of? Desmond Ridder.
With.
And yeah, he's pretty. He's not really proven yet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with.
I think that's pretty easy.
I agree. I'll go with.
All right, this should be an interesting one. Quarterback you win with, or because of? Justin Fields.
I'm going with because of. I like Justin. Justin's a baller.
Yeah. I mean, they were in every game that they might have lost and all of the games that they won because of Justin Fields. That's for sure.
I'm going to go of also.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Justin Fields.
I had to sit on it for a second. I'm going to go of also.
Yeah. All right, next one. Daniel Jones, quarterback you win with or because of?
What's the other category?
Head scratcher. He's just a head scratcher.
I say because of.
Because of Daniel Jones?
The reason why I say this is because I feel like Daniel Jones, he'll give you more than what you expect, and the reason is because I've been in games where he's single-handedly won. Like I've been played on the other side of him, and he's took the game over. I mean, don't forget he'll run an 80-yard touchdown. He's fast. Now the consistency side of it is where I'm like, you have Galloway that comes in, he doesn't really help him out. Then his receiver staff doesn't really help him out besides Slayton and a few other guys. But if you give him the pieces, I think Daniel Jones, it could be, I wouldn't say a top 5 or top 10, but he could be a good quarterback in this league. And he's got paid. I mean,
hell no. He's going to say you can win because of with Daniel Jones, but Dak Prescott's in the other category. I'm not going to take that. Absolutely not. That is where I draw the line. That is so disrespectful. I draw the line at that point right there. Hell to the no. Absolutely. If Daniel Jones is in that category, D-Jack, then Dak's in that category too.
Hey, no, listen though. Daniel Jones is a little younger. But he just was rewarded with the big contract. So let me ask you this. Why did you think he's rewarded with the big contract?
Dak got a big contract too. They had to pay Daniel Jones. Who else were they going to get? What was the other option? What was the alternative?
It's personal with the Cowboys, so don't feel away. I mean, you just have to be on the other side. It's a little personal. I mean, the Giants, I don't really hate them as much as I hate the Cowboys, but I don't really like them as much either. But likewise. I don't know. I just feel like Daniel Jones, I mean, I like his game style. I'm not gonna lie. I do like his game style a little more. Like he's not making the bad decisions as much as a Dak Prescott, so I might be a little harder on Dak Prescott.
I'm going with, not because of.
Well, do you think they figure out what they need to figure out with Saquon Barkley? You think they sign him or extend him before the season starts?
I think they
gonna need him.
I think they have to. Off of last year, he's proven that he's came back off the injury. I think they have to. I think they're forced to kind of almost take care of him as well too. But I think you give Daniel Jones a few more playmakers. I think you'll see that. Let's not forget now, Ashley, since you want to be so critiquing hard on my decision, let's not forget the Giants were a hell of a team early in the season. What they were like.
No, I'll give you that.
Their record.
Even late, they made the playoffs.
I'll give you that. They had a nice little push.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Their record was crap. Was they like 5-0, something crazy? Like they was like balling there at the beginning of the season.
No, they were undefeated until they faced the Dallas Cowboys. Then they went ahead and they lost. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
Didn't they beat the Eagles?
They lost the first game, Tampa Bay, and then they went on a 4-game winning streak. You talking about 2022?
Last season,
right?
they went on a win streak. They went on a winning streak, and you know who broke it? My guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know who didn't go ahead and contribute to a loss? His guys. Just want to put that out there.
I mean, so I'm looking at what Daniel Jones is going to be working with next year. I mean, he has some guys. The Giants signed Paris Campbell this offseason. Sterling Shepard should be healthy this year.
Hopefully.
Wandale Robinson.
Oh, they got Darren.
I was going to add, from the Raiders. I was going to add that.
Saying, don't sleep. Just remember what I said. So when we sit back, if Daniel Jones have a better year than Dak Prescott, I know I'm gonna be on your phone calling you.
Can't wait. Don't do it to me, Dak. Please, please.
For real. No, the Giants actually gonna be fun to watch next year. It'd be interesting. Well, you was gonna say something?
Just Danny Dimes.
And Cowboys Giants open the season Sunday Night Football.
Can't wait.
We could put a friendly wager on that.
Yeah, we gotta come up with a wager.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not even highly invested. You're an Eagles player. Like he's just doing this to piss me off.
That don't mean I can't put a little.
A fan of football.
All right, we'll come up with a little wager. We'll do a little something.
All right, we got a couple more quarterbacks. So, is this a quarterback you win because of, or you win a lot with? Russell Wilson.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
Leave me out of this one because I don't want Brandon to feel like I'm picking on Russell.
Okay, Russell Wilson prior to these past 2 years because of.
Right.
Russell Wilson now, gotta be honest, gotta call a spade, win with.
Yeah, at this point,
At this point, it's win with.
Yeah.
If you would have asked me this 3 years ago, Russell Wilson, the magic man, he can make anything possible.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that Russell Wilson.
Maybe
the workout, maybe his airplane
wrong.
workouts aren't hitting the way he thinks they hit. I don't know. Maybe he's got to get in an actual gym. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I've always been a huge Russell Wilson fan. I have been since he got into the league. So that's hard for me to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to look at him in recent and not him in his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
I do think if anybody can get back to that Russell Wilson, it's Russell Wilson and Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
But I just haven't seen that version of him, I feel like, in a minute. So it's hard for me to say still because of.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why he's in this category, right? We got to see the old Russell Wilson come
even
back.
A fraction of the old Russell
That's
Wilson.
it.
I haven't even seen a fraction of him.
Yeah.
I watch him play sometimes. I'm like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened?
I want to ask you guys, how much would you put this on his O-line? This year he's been sacked 55 times, the most of his career.
Oh, wow.
Like, how much are you guys putting on that?
I mean, a lot. And that's why they actually made some moves this offseason to add some offensive linemen. Like, I know Mike McGlinchey, he was the 49ers. He might have been their right tackle. Yeah, he's probably going to be their left tackle now. You know,
but I ain't going to lie, though, too. You got to look at it this way, too. I mean, a lot of times Russell Wilson holds onto the ball longer than he needs to. I mean, it's times I've been seeing guys open, even if it's dishing it to the flat or throwing it to your running back or throwing it to a tight end and check down. Like, Russell Wilson always wants the home run hit. And guess what? He doesn't have Tyler Lockett anymore. So what we used to him in the past and DK going deep, like that's what Russell Wilson's game is made of. He wants to drop back, play action on the roll, and he wants to go down deep. He doesn't. I don't want to say the receivers in Denver are not that, but their style of play is different than Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf when he was in Seattle. So the sacks, you can put him on the offensive line, but sometimes he's holding that ball a little too long, waiting for guys down the field to get open. So it might be half and half, but definitely a supporting cast at line could definitely help as well too.
Yeah, hopefully it was a system thing. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Sean Payton, to your point, Ashley can come in, kind of change things around.
Yeah.
I feel like they have. I mean, they got Judy, right? They got Jerry Judy at receiver. They got
JP sent me a stat. Russell Wilson and Roethlisberger set the records for holding on to the ball the longest in the NFL.
Interesting.
So
there you go.
They're highly attached to football.
Yeah. They are two. They are guys that are known to be able to improv. Like when avoiding the rush. So I mean, that's an interesting stat nonetheless, though. But all right, yeah. Hey, next quarterback, we got two more. Deshaun Watson, quarterback you win with or you win because of. That's another interesting one to be following heading into this season.
Win with or win because of.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with because of, and that's tough. I know Ashley might give me kickback on this, but
no, I'm kind of leading in your direction, but I'm also like I'm being a hypocrite because I'm going against what I just said is the knock against Russell Wilson.
Well, I feel like this is what you got to consider. You take Deshaun Watson off that team. Are the Browns going to be winning games next year?
Depends who you put in his. Who do you put in his place?
Right.
We gonna put Baker Mayfield back.
Yeah, like
that's what I'm saying. Who's available right now?
What I'm saying, who goes in there? Like if I plug Geno Smith in there, can they win games?
They don't have Brissett no more, right? Or Brisket, what's his name?
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett.
I'm gonna go because of.
Because of?
Yeah, I'm gonna go because of. I know it's a contradiction in what I just said. Russell Wilson's with, but I'm gonna go because of. I'll be a hypocrite. That's fine.
D. Watt came in off that suspension last year, and he was on fire, man. He came. I remember. I think the first game he came back was versus us when I was in Baltimore. Man, he went crazy on us. We actually lost that game too, and he was playing out of his mind. I'm like, damn, this is Deshaun Watson playing, and he was balling, bro. Yeah. So I think, for him to have a whole off season to be, in the building, in the facility, doing OTAs with his team, I think just building that camaraderie because obviously. Him being traded from Houston, actually, he wasn't able to really get in the building and be with his guys. So I think this year to see what he does, I think he's going to be able to be the player we expect from Deshaun Watson.
I just think that the Browns are cursed, so I don't really think it matters.
Yeah.
I just think that they are.
The Browns got a little squad though, man.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't think it matters. They're cursed. Like there's a black cloud around that entire. In one way, shape, or form, there has always been a black cloud over that organization. I don't think they'll win anything.
Because I feel like they have dogs like year in year out too.
It doesn't matter. They're cursed.
Yeah. So what curse do you think they have the same curse that the Jacksonville Jaguars had them?
No, they had the same. They had the same curse that the Boston Red Sox had before they finally, the curse of the Bambino, before they finally broke it and won the World Series after like 150 years. That's an exaggeration, but they have that level.
It might
curse.
take that long for them.
It might take that long. Like
that's from what it's looking like.
They got a problem. I don't know what's going on over there.
They got that beast coming off that edge, man. I don't know, man. They got some players over there. Man.
They do, yeah. They do. That's what
we're saying. They got some beasts, man.
Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna stay in the same division with this next quarterback, Kenny Pickett, quarterback from the Steelers. Quarterback you can win with, or you win because of.
I think with.
Yeah.
Just
I like Kenny though.
Yeah.
I like Pickett though. I think, and I like the fact that he's from the area. I think that's cool. Always cool when you can be the quarterback of your hometown team. I haven't seen enough though to think that he's the one who's gonna like lead them to the promised land. But I think that he's definitely a quarterback who can get you into the playoffs. Who can definitely win you games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
How you think? I mean, sorry, we were just talking about the Browns. We were just talking about the Steelers. How you think that division shapes up, D-Jack? You got the Ravens in there. You got the Bengals in there. You got the Steelers. You got the Browns. Who, what's the order of that? Who finishes 1, 2, 3, and 4?
So Ravens, Steelers, Baltimore. It's the 4th team.
Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns.
Yeah. Man. I would have to say I'm gonna either go with Baltimore or the Bengals. I think they'll be the top of the division, man. I think them two teams will. I mean, but one thing about that division, it's always year in and year out. I mean, it's gonna always be tough physical football. even with the Browns and the Steelers as well too. Like none of them games are push-offs games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's just so much. So much history built off and rivalry. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see how. I want to say Baltimore's going to win that division just off everything that they've done this offseason. But once again, you can't leave out Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how this season is going to turn out for that division.
I'm not going to lie. This might be the first season I'm worried about Coach Tomlin's, winning record, for the lack of a way of better putting it. Right? Like,
really?
Still, I don't know, because that division is looking pretty good. And just in the AFC North alone, I mean, if the Browns have the year that they're supposed to have, Steelers looking at a tough task. I mean, hopefully Kenny Pickett makes that jump that he needs to make. But yeah, we'll see. All right, hey D-Jack, before you go, right? I got a list of and we haven't had this conversation in a while, but like notable free agents still available, right? So there's a couple big names on this list too. We got a little graphic for you. But you got Marcus Peters, right? Cornerback Marcus Peters. You got quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, running back Kareem Hunt. Ezekiel Elliott's another big name, that we've been waiting to, get an update on. You got Jadeveon Clowney, Frank Clark, Leonard Floyd. Where do you think, some of these guys may land, or where are some teams that, might need some of these players?
Damn, I thought I was gonna see my name on that list. Damn. I'm getting too old. Huh? Yeah, I'm trying to hang it up. Honestly, man, I'm excited to see where Ezekiel Elliott is gonna fall, man. I think he's one of them players where he could be a big piece to a puzzle on the team that's having a Super Bowl push or a playoff push. But Marcus Peters is another guy I'm interested to see. Frank Clark. The thing about the NFL is, man, they're heavily invested into the youth and the young guys now, man. They want to get these young guys in, and I think a lot of these teams want to get to the OTAs, get to training camp, and see how these young guys are going to play out. You know what I'm saying? So they're not in a rush to make a move so quick. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I don't know. I think Ezekiel Elliott, he might end up in Tampa Bay. I think he might end up in Tampa Bay, man, with the Bucs.
Okay, that'd be interesting to see.
Come home, Zeke.
I know.
Come home. Take less money and come on home, Zeke.
What?
Yes.
This
marriage isn't over, Zeke. We are not divorcing, damn it.
You're not going nowhere.
We can go ahead and live in two separate wings of the house, but you have to come home, Zeke.
Ashley, there's no loyalty in less pay and all that other stuff. No, because I was your guy for y'all. And y'all don't want to make it right for me, so no, I'm not coming back to that situation. I'm going to go test the market, and I'm out.
Test the market? We all know it's not a running back market. Where is he going to get a fraction of what the Dallas Cowboys were paying him?
I don't want to deal with it. Y'all got Tony Pollard. Y'all good. I'm out. Let me go. New beginnings.
I'm a firm believer that Zeke can still be. I don't think he is I don't think he's running back number one anymore. He's lost his speed. He's lost his explosiveness, at least consistently. He can give it to you in spurts, but he can't give it to you 3 downs, 4 downs. He can't give it to you 4 quarters of football. But I still believe when it comes to powering through those holes, especially in the red zone, when you need someone to just power through the defense, Ezekiel Elliott is still your guy. He can still be that guy for us. Make this work, Jerry. You need me to – I will fly down to Dallas myself and make this happen. Just give me the keys. I will make – come home, Zeke. Come home. I can't see him in another jersey. I can't do it. Between D-Jack telling me we won't win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott to now Ezekiel Elliott's not a Cowboy, I am going through a lot. I cannot take this.
Nah, now I'm back on your head, Ashley. I already thought about this. You just said Cleveland has a curse over their head. What about the black hole that y'all have over y'all head? We gonna go back to Tony Romo. We want to go back to Tony Romo?
You want to go there? We can go there to Tony Romo.
I'm trying to think like
the year we should have won, we should have went to the Super Bowl the year that they called Dez's catch a no catch. That was our year to go to the Super Bowl. The refs screwed us and everybody knew it. That was not us. We don't have a black cloud. They were against us.
We living off of shoulda?
That wasn't a catch. DeSean, that wasn't a catch.
I would say it is, but I mean we can't. It wasn't.
It was a catch. It was 100% a catch. It was a catch.
It was, but it wasn't.
No, it was a catch. It was a catch. That year, we go to the Super Bowl and we beat the New England Patriots. Because the only reason the Patriots won was because Pete Carroll decided not to run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. That was the only reason the Patriots won. If the Cowboys faced the Patriots that year, we would have won the Super Bowl. I will die on that hill.
Sheesh.
That was our year.
Man, it sounds like the Cowboys had a black hole over their head, if anything.
No, we just have the curse of everyone putting their expectations on us and not letting us live. That's our curse.
Sheesh. Hey, man, D-Jack, of course, we appreciate you as always, man. We appreciate you chopping it up with us and whatnot. But I know we're going to have to let you go here in a little bit, man. But, yeah, good looks, man. Good looks for being on with us.
Oh, yeah, all the time, man. Y'all take care. Salute, man. Sorry about that black hole y'all
got. Whatever. I'm going to think about this wager because I'm invested now.
What's your prediction on 2023 Cowboys? I need to hear before I leave.
I always say the same thing every year. Super Bowl.
Huh? Is that realistic? Is that realistic?
One day it will be. One day I'll say it, and one day it will actually come true. I believe in manifestation.
So what about if I told you to hold your breath until then? It ain't gonna happen.
Well, then I would be dead.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, DJ, salute, man. Be easy. You're listening to Paper Route on Faction Talk Channel 103, Sirius XM. Corey Holmes, a.k.a. Corey in the Cut. I had to get that right. Messed that up at the top of the show. And I'm with Ashley.
Wild.
Super wild.
Your own name.
I know, right? How I do that. I'm with Ashley Nicole Moss, and we're going to bring in our NBA contributor, Antoine Walker. Antoine, how we feeling? How we doing?
Hi.
Can we hear him? Can we hear him?
Are you muted?
Antoine, you might be muted. Let's see.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was muted.
Now you all good, boss. How we feeling? How we doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, man.
Playoff basketball is lovely. It's a good time.
Oh, and I cannot wait to jump into it, Antoine. I cannot wait to jump into it.
How you doing, Ash?
I've been better.
I know she's wishing her Knickerbockers were here in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Stop calling them the Knickerbockers.
Hey, Antoine, I've been calling them the Knickerbockers because they ever since I started calling them the Knickerbockers, they couldn't get a win against the Heat. I told them I'll call them the Knicks after they beat the Heat.
That's the reason we lost is because you called us the Knickerbockers.
Yeah, man. I told them I'll call them.
They don't got the talent, Ash. They ain't got the talent.
Whoa! All right, the Knicks are in Cancun, so I don't even got to discuss them. All right, we going to talk Boston and Miami.
Yes, man.
Y'all not gonna drag me into this conversation.
So yeah, we're gonna transition to word on the tweet, y'all, and we're gonna start, of course, with the game road win that the Heat got on the Celtics last night, right? So they won 123 to 116, and Jimmy Butler. I mean, he went off, right? He had 35 points. What was his final stats? 35 points, 5 rebounds. I think he had like 6 rebounds, 7 assists. So, I mean, he just went off. But the story of the game was really the surge that the Heat had in the third quarter. They won the third quarter 46 to 25, right? That was after being down 9 points at half. Now, Antoine, I think it's cool having you on the show. You were a former Heat player, former Celtics player, right? Like, what do you make of the Heat, and should the Celtics be worried after losing Game 1?
Well, they definitely should be worried. Anytime you give up home court advantage, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the way they won yesterday, I watching that game, it's kind of how Miami's going to have to win. Jimmy Butler's going to have to be huge. But when he gets he gets 5 other guys in double figures with him, Miami becomes really, really tough to beat. But I think this series is going to come down to what we saw last series. I mean, with Jason Tatum, he's going to have to be big. He's going to have to have a couple of those big nights where he hits 40, maybe 50. I mean, 50 is a lot, but he's going to have some huge nights, as well as Jaylen Brown, because Miami's going to be well-disciplined. They're well-coached. I love Eric Spoelstra, so I think Miami has a slight advantage in that area with the coaching. So this is one of those series that's going to be really, really tough. I think it's going to go 7 games. And it's up in the air. I'm torn right now. After one game, I can't really pick the series right now, but it looks like, they're going to have to figure out, you're going to let Jimmy beat us or you're going to make somebody else beat you. And that's one thing I think the Boston Celtics is going to have to make a determination on what they're going to do.
Man, is that even possible, though? Could they do that? Can you stop Jimmy buckets?
Well, you can send 2 at him and make the other guys make shots. I mean, I know they had 6 guys in double figures yesterday, but I don't know if you want to give 35 up to Jimmy and the other guys get double figures, it's going to be tough to beat.
Right, on a consistent basis. Ashley, what you think?
Yeah, that was one of the things that's like. First of all, the Boston Celtics have now lost game 1 of every single series they've been in, which is such a weird number. And Miami has stolen
every game one
of their. It's just a weird numbers there. But you know, Boston, we have seen in multiple series, has figured it out. So again, I don't think it's a need to sound the alarm. But like I said earlier in the show, the thing that makes me look at them sideways a little bit is that they don't seem to play the same every single game, which is why they find themselves in these situations. They have games, they come out right out the bat, firing on all cylinders, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the supporting cast. Then you have games like last night where it's like, we're going to start playing in the second half. Miami takes advantage of that. Now, when it comes to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, you probably can't stop them. You know what they're going to give you. But, I mean, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, and those guys each had 15 points. That's 60 points right there.
Yep.
You can't allow that to happen.
Can't.
Because Jimmy and Bam are going to do what they do. You have to be able to lock down those other guys to prevent that from happening, and they didn't do that. Also, like I said, this is no shade to Joe Mazzulla. I think for a first-time head coach, he's doing well. But this is Eric Spoelstra. Multiple rings, has been here before, multiple finals appearances, multiple playoff appearances. And I don't know if that coaching mismatch, if they allow themselves to fall into the trap of not playing 4 quarters of basketball, I don't know if Joe Mazzulla has enough experience to dig them out of that each and every time. So I'm still having Boston. I still have Boston in 7. That was my prediction. I'm going to stick with it. But, yeah, this last night's game was not good for the Celtics at all.
Yeah, not at all. And listen, I got some stats for you guys, too, and we got another tweet here. Shout out to ESPN Stats and Info. But, look, Jimmy Butler had his second career road playoff game, right? So, a road playoff game with 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. The only other person to do that, you see him right there, Michael Jordan. Right, and that was, since they started to record, the steals as a stat. Those are the only 2 guys to ever do that. Antoine, I wanted to ask you, is Jimmy Butler going to be the best player in this series?
Well, I didn't think so at first. After what we saw Jason Tatum do the first round, I thought Jason Tatum would probably be the best player. But Jimmy's got his mojo going.
Sure
where if you really watch, even after game 1, he's dominating the game, dominating the pace of the game. And if you allow him to do that, then it's going to be real tough for Boston to win this series because he's such a tough competitor. He can get to the foul line when he wants to. He can make tough shots. And then don't let this happen again where you get 6 guys in double figures. We know the Heat struggle to score. If you watch the Miami Heat throughout the season, and now to get 6 guys in double figures, that's huge for Miami. But I think so too. I agree. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. It's going to come down to the wire, and it may come down to a Jason Tatum or Jimmy Butler who can have that game 7 big game and take their team over the threshold. But Boston's going to have to figure it out. You're either going to have to let Jimmy – you got to make a decision. You have to make the others beat you. You can't get both. You can't let Jimmy get 35 and then 5 other guys get double figures. They're not going to beat the Miami Heat that way.
Yeah, I agree. They got to pick a struggle. And for me, it's locking down those other guys because you're not going to stop Jimmy. You're not going to stop Bam, but you can certainly stop those other guys. And can we stop with the love of God, with the Jordan comparison stats? I hate when they do this. Like, let it go. Move on. There's Michael Jordan, and there's everybody else. We don't need to compare. Like, this is a stupid stat. This is a ridiculous stat.
It's probably it's not a great stat, but you know what I like
it's
about
ridiculous.
But I think sometimes it's good that people to know that to be in rare company sometimes. You know, if you get to see Jimmy in that and understand how hard it is sometimes to see some of these guys do the things that were done back in the day. So you're in rare company. You like to hear your name next to Michael Jordan.
It's just a ridiculous reach of a stat. Like, Michael Jordan drank from 3 straws during Game 6 of the NBA Finals in 1995 or 1996, and Jimmy Butler drank from 4 straws. Nobody cares. It's a ridiculous stat.
These are some crazy stats though. These ain't easy to come by. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. He said
that's why I say it's rare company.
Yeah, that's definitely rare company. But you guys make the point. You got to choose, right? You got to lock down Jimmy or you got to lock down the others. But Kyle Lowry, after the game last night, right? He spoke with the TNT crew and whatnot. They were asking him questions about the game, but he made the comment that Jimmy Butler is the most selfless, like just unselfish superstar that he's ever played with, right? And that's why I think this makes the Heat team dangerous because Jimmy Butler, his style of play is incorporating the other guys. But he's also now that it's the playoffs, he's gonna get his. He knows how to attack each defense in front of him. You know what I'm saying?
He knows how to dish it and he knows how to deliver it.
Exactly.
Versus on Boston, Jason Tatum's not always the most aggressive, and you can't have that when your tandem of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum relies on that aggressiveness. You have to demand the ball. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little too passive. Like for me personally, if I were Jason Tatum last night, like. Jaylen Brown did not have a great game. Why is Jaylen Brown taking more shots than you? Yeah. Why are you not saying, give me the damn ball? Like, you don't have it tonight. Give it to me. Like, why are you not being that aggressive with that? Yeah. That's the frustrating part, I feel like sometimes. And that's why a lot of people say sometimes this tandem may or may not be able to work because it seems that when one is cooking, the other's comfortable of taking a back seat. Or when one is not cooking, the other's not comfortable being aggressive to go ahead and take the other out of the equation. Yeah. And you can't do that. Yeah. Like, he should have been aggressive in that entire game, knowing Jaylen Brown was not on his A game. Right. And he wasn't. If that was Jimmy Butler, Jimmy's not passing the rocks. If Bam's having an off night, Bam, I love you. Go defend somebody. Get out my way. Like, that's... Jason Tatum doesn't have that, and that's why a lot of people question if he has that dog in him sometimes, because it's that lack of aggressiveness.
Well, and you tell me, Antoine, right? Like, when you got that dynamic going on of your superstars trying to figure out, all right, whose night it is, then the others, right, they're kind of just on the side, out of rhythm, not really been able to be incorporated in the game. However, you take a guy like Jimmy Butler and the dynamic that the Heat have, the way Jimmy Butler's plays, and this was a point that was made last night after the game, all of the others, right, or the role players, they're kept in rhythm because they're touching the ball all throughout the game. And you got the guy, the Celtics on the other hand, it's either Jaylen Brown or it's Jason Tatum, and you got guys like Devin White who can't stay in their rhythm. They're not touching the ball enough. Derek, man, I'm chopping names up today. Derek White, right? You got a guy like Marcus Smart. You got, guys like Al Horford who's normally hitting, shots for him. When there's like, the lack of a smooth dynamic on the floor, you're going to hurt yourself. But the Heat, I feel like to your point, they're consistent, and they're going to consistently play that way. And you're going to get consistency out of Jimmy Butler because it's the playoffs. I mean, Antoine, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think with the Heat, it's real simple. They know Jimmy's the guy. He's the man. They're gonna run things through him. He's gonna make the right play. Where a little bit more is different. Where it's more of a committee with the Heat. Where with the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown and obviously Jason Tatum have to be great for the Celtics to win. And Jason Tatum has to really think about, look, I got to go out and get 35, 40. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't sit and wait. And that's where he was successful last series, having big games last series. You got to do that. This is the time to do that. You got to put your foot on the pedal. And I think he will figure it out. You got to think these guys have been together a long time. They've been in a ton of meaningful games. I think they're good enough to go win on the road. Obviously, you never want to lose home court advantage. But I believe the Celtics can go win on the road. That group has been together a long time, so the road games won't bother them. Yep. But I do agree with you on this. There's certain mentalities you got to have, and I think sometimes Jason Tatum kind of plays the back seat where he should just go out. If it's a 50-point night, go get you 50. Mm-hmm. Don't wait till you get, don't wait. And I think that's something that gets frustrating sometimes when you watch the Celtics, if you watch them all season long, because he has that type of capability to do that night in and night out. But I still like what the Celtics did. I just think they're deeper. I think they can go on the road and win.
I think they're more talented also.
I just think, for Miami, everything has to click right. Can they get every game? Can they get 6 guys in double figures? Can they really win this series without Tyler Hero, a guy who averages 20 points a game for them, so who's a huge part of their offense? So it's just a lot of – I still think the Celtics would rebound. They get the game Friday night. And make this a series. But I do think it's going to be a long 6-7 game series, easy.
I'm also very confused about Joe Mazzulla not playing Grant Williams. He's not hurt. He's a great defender. Yeah. Offensively, he's not the best. But defensively, he could have helped you lock down one of the scorers that was one of the Heat scorers and maybe go ahead and make that difference in productivity a little bit closer. This is now the second game that he has not played him. He didn't play in Game 7 of the 76ers series, which everyone was like, why is he not on the floor? Yeah. Ultimately, it didn't matter. And he didn't play him at all this game, Game 1, and I think it did matter. I'm just very confused why they're not playing him when defensively you need the help. It's not like you guys were – the Miami Heat put up 123 points. You need defense. Like, to credit – our problem in New York was scoring, but defensively we held Miami to, I believe that series never went past 100. Like defensively we held them, we just couldn't outscore them. So defense is not great if there's no offense to go ahead and counteract that. You have the offense in Boston. Why are you not using your defensive weapon to go ahead and prevent I'm confused on what the game plan is there.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's probably back up. I love the we too, Ashley. I love the we with the New York. I love it. Like you on the team. I love it.
You know, 6 man right here.
I love it.
Nah, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens in game 2. I'm gonna call it Heat in 6. All right, carrying on.
Oh, shocker.
Carrying on. Heat in 6.
You're not even original in your prediction because that was the same prediction for the Knicks one, and you got lucky.
Well, no. My prediction was Heat in 5, and I really thought it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I forgot.
It was
you
Heat
got
in
that
5.
wrong. I forgot.
Hey, Antoine, they was on pins and needles, though. They were nervous because they really thought it was
Hey,
gonna
you know
happen.
what, Corey? You can talk a lot of crap here, but you don't have to give us our accolades. But we fought that game,
See that?
and we fought in game.
They want a participation trophy.
And we fought in game 6 too. Like nobody can say we just rolled over and let y'all take it from us.
Jalen Brunson
That's
fought.
right.
Jalen
That's
Brunson
right.
fought. I'll give it to Jalen Brunson.
Josh Hart was out there fighting too.
I don't even think he played in like game 6.
Yes, he did. That's the game that his wife had twins, and he had to rush back after the game was over. But like nobody can say, everyone can clown the Knicks for losing and whatever. That's cool. But you cannot say that the Knicks did not fight that entire series. Like we did not roll over and let Miami just take that series from us. We were going ahead and fighting back every single game, every single possession. So nobody has to go ahead. There's no participation trophies, but everybody better respect the fact that y'all didn't steamroll us. It wasn't a sweep.
Hey, Will, watch this.
Have some respect.
They play hard.
Will, watch this.
They're good.
Whatever. That's cool. When Boston drags y'all back here, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead. I got something for you when Boston goes ahead and ends your playoff
exactly.
dreams.
That's what I wanted to highlight.
worry.
Heat in 6 against the Celtics. I don't think we're worried about the Knicks no more. All right, moving on.
Noted.
Moving on.
Make sure you clip this, Woo. I got something for Corey. Don't worry.
All right, moving on. Before we preview the game tonight, Giannis, right? We seen a clip surfacing about Giannis, and it was his reaction when asked if he would join the Warriors. Let's take a look at that clip real quick.
Bro, please come to the Warriors. Somebody say please come to the Warriors. Hey. Hey, man.
Hey, Antoine, you think it's something in that video there? You think Giannis, because of course he said he wanted to retire a Buck, but do you think he might jump ship and join a contender?
It's tough. They got to continue to put pieces around him. I think that's really important because, he's got one. He's been there. He's been in the finals with that group. They may have maxed out. If he feels like they've maxed out and he needs some other pieces around him, then I could see him moving on. I don't know if it's the Warriors would be the right situation for him because the Warriors are a ball moving team, and I mean, Giannis' skill set is to be played with certain individuals. Giannis handles the basketball a lot. He's a guy that takes a lot of shots, so it's different with him. But if they don't, Milwaukee's a tough place. Milwaukee's not the most attractive spot for free agents to go there, so that plays a part in it. So he may not be able to get another big-time superstar to go play alongside with him. So he could think about that. He may want a bigger market. This guy, I don't know what his situation is off the court. He may feel like he wants to do more things off the court. He wants a bigger market. But basketball-wise, it's just always tough. He's got decent pieces around him right now, Holiday and obviously Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis. So he's not far off in the Eastern Conference right now. So he could stay where he's at right now and probably contend for a couple more finals. Those guys are still in their youth. They're still in their prime. So it just depends on what he wants and how easy he wants. If he wants to go join another superstar, that's possible. But I like him in Milwaukee. I like him staying right there. I think the Eastern Conference is wide open for them. You got to go through them no matter what. I know this is a disappointing season, but still right now you still have to go through them, I think, to get to the finals. I just believe that they're going to be right back in the mix next year, and he's only going to get better. So hopefully he makes the right decision. You know what I mean? Just missing out on 1 year, obviously just go back and retool. Maybe you add a piece to the team, and you're going to be right back in the mix again. It's not like you're far off.
Right. Ashley, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure I'm banned from Milwaukee, so like I don't really. I'm not highly. No, y'all are laughing. I'm pretty sure I'm banned from the city of Milwaukee.
From the city?
Yeah.
Wow.
Milwaukee Buck fans hate me.
I was thinking maybe
like,
Pfizer for him. But...
we have a legit beef. Like, I'm blocked by the Milwaukee Bucks on Twitter.
Really?
What did you do?
What did you say? I don't say. What caused it?
So I never told this story.
No, you never did.
Oh, okay.
Story time.
When I was on Miami radio and we were covering, and the teams that we would cover, obviously we would talk about all teams. It was Miami Sports Radio, but we specifically covered the Heat and the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. It was basketball season. It was free agency, and this was when people didn't know if Giannis was going to re-sign to the Bucks, and there was, conversations about him going to the Warriors and whatever. We had gotten a tip. This was from the same people that told me that Jimmy was going to sign in Miami, which actually ended up happening.
Yeah.
The tip was that Giannis was on the verge of signing a deal to come to the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. It obviously didn't happen because Drew Holiday ended up signing to the Bucks last minute. Nobody even knew. He wasn't even on their, he wasn't even one of the teams radar, that was being reported he was even talking to. It kind of happened out of nowhere. So he ended up signing to the Bucks. Giannis ended up signing the Supermax and staying in Milwaukee. They win the championship next year. To this day, Bucks fans say that I lied about Giannis coming to Miami.
Yeah.
And they can't stand me. And they would tweet me, and I would tweet them back, and I would troll them, and then eventually the Bucks Twitter blocked me, and I've been blocked ever since. So I can't go to Milwaukee.
Just for that, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the airport there's a photo of me.
Yeah.
If I ever step foot in the Milwaukee airport, they would be like, she can't. She gotta go.
Poster in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So if I ever want to see Giannis play, it can't be in Milwaukee.
Sheesh. Hey, all righty then.
Yeah. It happens.
That's too funny.
Some people get blocked by players, but I get blocked by teams. Rookies.
Right. Yeah, that's too funny. All right, so we're going to
be proud of.
Thank you.
No, honestly, right?
It was one of my proudest moments.
Yeah, it's a little flex there. But all right, moving on. So we're Antoine, I don't know if you got a chance to watch game 1 of the Lakers and Warriors, but of course we got game 2 tonight. And we got a tweet here, right? And it was
Lakers Nuggets, right?
Did I say Lakers Warriors? Man, I'm on one.
Are you drunk?
I'm on one today. And I got too much. I'm trying to do too many things at once, man. Right. Lakers Nuggets.
You threw me for a loop for something.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure I did, man. My apologies. Lakers Nuggets game 2 tonight. So really the story of game 1 was obviously the adjustments that the Lakers made in that second half, right? Jokic had just went off in the first, and then in the second they made the adjustment to put Rui Hachimura on Jokic, and it allowed, Anthony Davis and LeBron to kind of roam there in the paint to stop Jokic in the paint. But this is what Mike Malone said.
This is a crazy quote.
Yeah, much is being made of them putting Rui Hachimura on Nikola Jokic like we've never seen that before.
Yo, Michael Malone is a troll.
Right. He's like, I mean, you think this is an adjustment that the Lakers were only able to figure out and make? No, I think we're going to be good heading into game 2. So, I mean, one, Antoine, what's your reactions to that? And then 2, I wanted to know, too, because this is a conversation me, Ashley, and Brandon been having on here. But, the inconsistency of Anthony Davis, the rather consistency of Jokic. Who's going to be more consistent in this series? So kind of two-parter reacting to that. And who's going to be more consistent in this series?
Well, I mean, obviously, Jokic will be probably more consistent. I'm not going to take anything from this guy. MVP candidate. He's been consistent for the last 3 years. He's been unbelievable, even in the playoffs. So he'll probably be the more consistent. And it's tough, and I hate this. It's tough because we don't know what Anthony Davis we're going to get from game in and game out. Mm-hmm. You may get a 40-20 Anthony Davis, or then you may get a 15-15 Anthony Davis. That's unfortunate, but that's typically what usually happens with AD, especially in the playoffs. So I do believe in this series. I think the Lakers still have a really good chance to win this series. I still think they're going to win this series. I think it's the depth of the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a little bit more deeper to me than the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets starting 5 is great, but the Lakers can get contributions and go down their bench with the trade that they made at the All-Star break. I think they got a little deeper. But Anthony Davis is going to have to be more consistent. They're going to need him to be more consistent on the defensive end. You got to slow Jokic down. You can't have this 35, 15, and 20, these huge astronomical video game numbers,
right?
And expect to beat them. You got to slow him down a little bit. Obviously, he's a great passer. He can score the ball, but you got to take something away from him. Whether it's him, if you want to let him get 50 and stop the 10 assists he gets, then that's what you want. That's what you have to do. But something has to be taken away from Jokic for the Lakers to win this series. Game 2 is going to be huge. If the Lakers could somehow come up with a game win in Denver, game 2, I like the Lakers to win this series. They got to win one in Denver. and it's just a good time to steal one.
Yeah, absolutely. Ashley, what are your initial reactions to Mike Malone and then also AD
First
and
of all,
Jokic?
I love Mike Malone.
Right.
I love coaches like that.
Uh-huh.
Very much like, oh, you act like we've never seen this before. It's very much, y'all ever seen Rocky where the Russian goes, if he dies, he dies. Like, it's just that, like,
that energy.
I absolutely love that. So shout out to Michael Malone. I make sure I remember to call him Michael and not Mike because he's very particular about that.
Ooh.
But regarding this series, I mean, I know everyone was joking and laughing when I was talking about this altitude. It's a very real thing. Like, playing in Denver is not easy. With that said, though, looking at these numbers, my concern is I agree with Antoine. Like, the Denver Nuggets have a better starting five. And usually with your starters, you know what you're going to get from them. There's more consistency with your starters. Whereas with a bench, you never really know who's going to have the night, right? Like last game, it was Hachimura had the night 17. They also went a short rotation. The only other person on the bench that had any contribution point-wise was Lonnie Walker, and he only had 6 points. You look at your starters, you only had 3 starters in double digits. Now, if you go on the Denver side, you had every single starter in double digits, and then you had 16 points with Bruce Brown coming off the bench. It's hard to compete with that when you're facing a starting five that's a lot deeper than you, and you have to rely on somebody on the bench getting hot. I don't know if there's enough consistency on the bench to go ahead and put that much stock in them. Because it could be Lonnie Walker one night. It could not be Lonnie Walker one night. It could be Hachimura one night. Could not be him one night.
You need Russell, too.
You need D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Schroeder to go ahead and give you double digits every single night to beat this Denver Nuggets team. Because you cannot put all your stock in that bench. You will lose that way.
All right. Now, you know we like to bet on this platform. Oh, did you have something to add, though, Antoine?
Well, I just want to add that just so people know. One thing you got to remember, too, in this series, this is not about the others. I mean, LeBron has to have one of those nights. I'm talking one of those 40-point nights.
Yeah.
And AD got to have one of them. That's the type of team the Lakers got. You don't have anybody else on their team that's, I mean, not saying that they're not capable, but we're just going to go off for big nights. So AD and LeBron, whether it's 2 games AD has them and 2 games LeBron has them, those guys got to go off for huge nights. They're not going to beat the Denver Nuggets without those guys having huge nights. And they both have mismatches. They both have the advantages on the offensive end. Yeah. So they got to show up. They got to have them huge nights. And obviously we know LeBron's capable of doing the AD, but I say 2 apiece. I mean, you got to have – those guys got to step up and have those big nights.
If you're a betting man, you putting your money on the Lakers to win Game 2 tonight?
Yeah, I like the Lakers to win this series. I think it's going to go – I think it's going to be a series that goes 7 games, but I like the Lakers to win this series.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm picking the Lakers to win this series, too. I got Lakers winning. Did I have them in 7? I think I had the Lakers winning this in 7, and then I got the Lakers in Heat.
Y'all both are nuts.
I got the Lakers in Heat in the finals, man. I think they're going to do it.
It's going to be Nuggets Celtics. Everyone knows that.
Lakers Celtics in the finals. We're going back to the throwbacks.
Lakers Celtics
in the finals.
Hey, as long as, listen,
matchup.
I take Lakers Celtics before Miami Lakers or Miami Denver, so.
We'll see. All right, moving on. So yeah, a couple nights ago we had the NBA draft, right? The NBA draft lottery, rather. Excuse me. And the Blazers, they obtained the number 3 pick in that lottery. And what they've said is that they're actually putting it on the market, right? They said that they're considering moving it to try and build a contending roster around Damian Lillard, right? So I wanted to ask you, Antoine, do you trust the Trailblazers to build a championship roster around Damian Lillard? You know, at this point.
Well, I don't necessarily know if it should be a championship roster, but they're really young. Dame is in his prime. You don't want to let a talent like this go, even though they've made some playoff runs with him. You want to have a chance to see if you can win the championship. So you want to put that type of team around him. So I love that thought process of trying to actually put some pieces around. Y'all got to understand, it's tough. No big free agents is signed in Portland. I'm just going to keep being honest. I mean, it's not a great place to live. It's nice. I mean, free agents don't want to go there, no matter how good Dame is. But players like that be able to go to good restaurants, have a little nightlife. Portland's tough, man. So you got to do it. You have to do it through trades and through the draft to build those teams. And that's the tough part about running the Portland Trail Blazers organization, especially in this new age of players. Guys want to go where they can, where they can have a little nightlife, where it's a little bit more better. The weather, the weather's better. So it's not a really big free agency spot, regardless of what's going on in the court. And you may not want to talk about it right now in a minute. Players look at that type of stuff. So it's tough for Portland to get other good players around Damian Lillard. They're going to have to do it through trade. You're going to have to bring guys there through the trade, and that's the only way I can see it happen. I don't just see a free agent signing to go play with Dame, and Dame is an unbelievable, terrific talent. But look at LaMarcus Aldridge. He left. I mean, it's just tough, man. I mean, it's hard to attract big-time free agents in Portland, so that's why drafting is really important for them. And if you can make a trade to bring another superstar there, you have to do it.
I also just feel like we have this conversation about the Portland Trailblazers every season. Every season they're going to do something to go ahead and build a roster around Dame. Every season they're going to go ahead and try to make Dame happy. And every season they fail. So I'm just kind of confused, like, exactly what do they think they're going to accomplish? Like, unless you land somebody, getting a rookie is not going to help him, right? So which is why they're interested in trading their third pick, because you can't rely on a rookie to be the difference maker with this Portland team, because you need somebody who has the experience, who can play with Dame right now, who can hit the ground running. Who's that going to be? Who's out there that you can trade that number 3 pick for? Like, who's going to be the difference maker that makes this a championship roster? I can't think of a player that's available for them to do that with.
And I agree with you as well. But then you don't want to give up a couple young pieces that you already have on your roster that can be good in the future. Right. So that's what really makes it tough for Portland. But one thing about it, Dame has to be more vocal with other superstars in the league. I'm pretty sure he has great relationships with other guys. And, that's when you have to try to sell it. Like, we can win one together. That's where those relationships come in at. And if Dame is able to do that. But if not, that's why we had so much conversation about maybe Dame should just leave Portland. Because it's hard for him to get a running mate. I mean, C.J. McCullough left. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And C.J. McCullough had good chemistry, but he left. LaMarcus Aldridge. So he's lost his good players over the last 3 to 4 years to play alongside him. So, this year, obviously, they played well with the young group. But it's really hard to attract a big-time free agent to Portland. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't want to live in Portland. I mean, people don't want to talk about that. Players may not come out publicly and say that, but where they live at and where they're going to spend their time, that matters. And no matter what's going on, they want to play in nice cities. And not saying Portland's not a nice city, but it's not the most attractive city in the NBA.
You don't want to live there. You just kind of want to visit, pass through, go home.
For real.
Play your 2 games a year there, huh? And get out of there.
We'll put there, it's Portland, Milwaukee. Let me think.
Minnesota.
Milwaukee ain't bad. You down the street from Chicago.
Minnesota. OKC. Minnesota, definitely.
Yeah, I'll say Minnesota.
Minnesota for sure.
It's freezing.
Ash, how you know about these cities, Ash? You traveling the world?
I'm just like, I see the skyline of the games, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, right, like the little B-roll that they cut to.
I can make the adjustment based on the skyline. When they got to show like the one building and then everything around it's flat, it pretty much tells me all I need to know. So.
Nah, I'm not that's what you.
Antoine,
you're right though.
You think Damian Lillard just eventually say enough is enough and then relocate, or do you really think he'll retire a Trailblazer?
I really think he's gonna retire a Trailblazer. I think the window for him to leave. Was now, this season. But I mean, obviously they're maxing him out. He's making the most money. I mean, they're paying him top dollar, so they're not cheating him in the contractual department. But if he wants to win a championship, it's probably not going to happen in Portland.
Yeah.
And I think Dame has probably made that decision that I still can be I'm gonna be a Hall of Fame player. I have a great career. I've made a ton of money. And I'm at a place where organization's been loyal to me. The fan base has been loyal to me. And that may be good enough for him. You never know. Maybe towards the end, maybe his last year, even though his number is going to be really high with how much money he makes, maybe he takes a buyout and maybe go play for a championship on a young team that has a chance to win. But he's very loyal to that organization. He's going to stay there. And it's just unfortunate. It's just not a big free agency spot. And, he's going to have to continue to get on the phone and keep trying to, lure talent to come there. Because it's tough, and what's bad is they're actually an average to good team, so they don't even get great draft picks, because they're in the middle of the road, so they don't even get an opportunity to get a top 5 pick. So that's what's really bad about it. But I think Dame's going to stay there. Obviously, when he didn't move after this contract, I think he's going to stay there completely. I think he's content with that. I think he's content with being a Hall of Fame point guard, and if he never gets an opportunity to play for a championship, I think he's probably came to mentally that may not happen, but he's at a place that an organization's been loyal to him and gets an opportunity to really, be that franchise best player to ever play there. You know what I mean? We used to always talk about Clyde Drexler and all those guys, and Portland's had a lot of great superstars, but Dame would go down as the best Portland Trailblazer ever. That might be the bottom line, his title. And obviously he's a great player in the league.
Well, it is interesting. Dame has been tweeting some things. And there's one tweet where somebody said, muting all of you that are undervaluing the Blazers' number 3 pick and insisting on trading Dame. What's wrong with you all? You think we suffered this long to go out like that? Goodbye. And Dame responded, quote tweeted, if the fans want to trade me, start the petition and send it in. The next tweet was a response to that. And someone said, LOL, you ain't low. You want to leave, but trying to get the fans to push you out. He says, hey, I've been on the same team for over a decade. LOL. I'm just saying, if the people got different wishes, so be it. Shrugging. Anyone want to Twitter dissect that?
Right. Well, I mean, it was the part where I think it was somebody's comment saying, "Yeah, smooth. Like you trying to get the like the fan base to push you out now."
But you know what though, for Dame, even for them to, I mean, obviously Dame will go with he probably can get 3 players for Dame or 3 players and some picks for that type of talent. So. It depends if they go to Dame and say, look, we're not going to be in position. We tried hard to put people around you. We can't get anybody to come here, but we want to take care of you. You've been loyal to this organization, and we want to restart or reboot. I think that's something that they could think about. Hey, look, we're going to get you to a situation that you want to be in, but we're going to demand a lot for you. But we're going to give you an opportunity to go somewhere else and maybe win a championship because it's very tough for us to, to obviously put somebody in the free agent market around you, and we got to rebuild through the draft. And that's something that they can obviously entertain, but that would probably have to come from Dame. If he, and obviously he probably doesn't want to do that because the team has gave him 2 max contracts. They've been very loyal to him. It's his show. They've tried their best to build around him. So it may be something that he may not want to entertain, but it all depends. I think that's something that both the organization and Dame would really have to sit down and talk about. Because if they're not able to lure a big-time free agent to go alongside of him, the Western Conference in the league is too tough. They won't be able to make a real championship run.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, that was an interesting update that Ashley just gave us. So we'll see what happens with Dame Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers. But moving on, Antoine, I was actually looking forward to this, right? So earlier this week, we got Ray Allen's all-time starting 5, and what he did was actually included the 6-man. And let's take a look at his starting 5. So in his starting 5, he had Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal. And then his 6-man was LeBron James. So I can imagine he obviously probably had Magic at the 1. I'd say Jordan at the 2. Maybe Larry Bird at the 3, Hakeem at the 4, Shaq at the 5, and then LeBron coming off the bench. What you got, though, Antoine? That's what I want to see. I want to see who your starting 5 is and who's your 6-man, who you got coming off the bench.
I go Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan in my backcourt. LeBron's my 3. I love Bird, but I think I give LeBron the edge on Bird. Tim Duncan at my 4. This is torn. I'm torn because Shaq is my guy, my man. I love him to death. But I'm gonna take Hakeem Olajuwon
at the center
over Shaq at the center spot. Yeah.
Okay. And no.
And if I get a 6-man, I'm gonna put Shaq. If I get a 6-man,
Shaq could be your 6-man.
Yeah, but you gotta have Shaq because Shaq is arguably the most dominant player that we've ever seen play the game, especially from the center position. And with his obviously with his style, his force. So Shaq is really close. It was really close, but I'm gonna take Hakeem Olajuwon at the center spot.
Now I know Hakeem is nice, but I must have to watch some more film on him.
What?
I gotta watch even more because Shaq. You'll take Hakeem over. I mean, of course you're probably getting more offensively from Hakeem, right? I mean, would that be why you'd go with Hakeem over Shaq?
He's more. I mean, Shaq is skilled too. Don't get me wrong. Shaq ain't just a dominant player. I mean, I play with Shaq. Shaq can pass. He can dribble. He can do it. I just think Akeem Olajuwon's skill set and offensive skills were unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You never seen a center like that shooting fadeaways,
right,
with the handle, doing all the things that he used to do. So I just give a little slight advantage that way. That's why I say Shaq is my sixth man. So
that's fair.
if anybody was to argue me and say Shaq is better than Akeem, I probably wouldn't even argue with it. I wouldn't even put up that fight because I love Shaq, and obviously playing with Shaq for 3 years, I got to really see his skill set and how good he was as a big man, up close and personal. So I know how good he really is.
Mm-hmm. Ashley, you got your top 5 and your 6 man? I got mine. I wanted to see how y'all felt about it. Oh, so I can go?
I'll sit on mine for a second. I got to do it in my head.
All right, so look, this is mine, and I'm going to give you my logic, too, as to why this is my starting 5. So I'm going to go with Magic Johnson at my point because I love the height. I love the length that I get, the playmaking that I get out of Magic Johnson. I mean, I wouldn't want to go with any other point guard, really. I'm going to go with Magic Johnson at the point. Got to go with the GOAT, Michael Jordan at 2, right? Like, I don't feel like there's anybody else you should put in your 2. You got to go with Michael Jordan at the 2. I got LeBron at the 3, so I liked your choice to move LeBron into the 3. And this is where I disagree with a few people, right? I think because I want a spot-up shooter. That's what I want, Antoine. I want a spot-up shooter, somebody that can knock down shots. I kind of want Larry Bird. I want Larry Bird as my knockdown shooter at the 4 to spread the floor out, right? And then I want Shaq.
I'm not mad at you.
And then I want Shaq at my 5. And then guess who I got as my 6 man, though? I got Steph Curry as my 6 man. I got Steph Curry coming off the bench with his shooting ability because I want a guy that can just knock down shots and that's what because maybe I guess I don't know who I'm taking out, right? Because I'll take out Magic. I'll just take out Magic just to get kind of more of like another shooter on the floor and whatnot. But my 5, I want to space the floor. I want a knockdown shooter with Larry Bird. People were saying, why not KD if you wanted to go for another score? And I'm just like, I think there's too many guys on the floor that need the ball in their hand, right? Like I think if I could just put Larry Bird maybe in the corner or something like that, I hate to disrespect him, but he gonna knock down that shot though. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna knock down that shot. Ashley, you got your crew?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do. I also have Magic Johnson at the 1, so at point. At the 2, I'm gonna go Michael Jordan. At the 3, I'm gonna go Kobe Bryant. At the 4, I'll go Tim Duncan. I'm going to go Shaq at the 5, and my 6th man's going to be Allen Iverson.
I can't debate that one either.
Talk to me nice.
Wait, so who was your point?
Magic Johnson.
Okay, and then who's the 2?
I'm going to go Magic Johnson. I got Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, my 6th man, Allen Iverson.
Okay. I'm
not mad at that.
Yeah, that's a good squad.
That's better than your squad. We cook y'all.
Yo, I don't know. Like I really can't see my squad getting beat.
Man.
Huh? Yeah.
Allen could be a
my
6 man.
My 6 man is sweet.
Nah, he is tough. He is tough. That's what I'm saying. Like I want my 6 man to be like a scorer, somebody that's just like, throw him in the game. He could just take over. Just take over, right? No, that's a good one. But hey,
hold on. Time out. We have Go St. Patrick in the room, and he said verbatim, Magic wasn't that good to me. Let's all take a pause and just
Ghost.
Try to dissect that.
Ghost. Just ask him. Besides LeBron playing a little point guard, LeBron plays a little bring the ball. But has he ever seen another guy 6'10" be a point guard in the NBA?
Right.
Tell him to name me one. That's a real point guard.
Magic Johnson wasn't that good.
Yeah, there's no legitimate. We was talking about this yesterday, and that's kind of brought up this segment. Like, there's no legitimate point guard, right? Because what's up?
Well, I would probably lean into the traditionals. Like right now, I'm looking at John Stockton, Jason Kidd, and Chris Paul, the top 3 leading assists. Mm-hmm. Like that's where I would go for a point. I know that the other guys are bigger, taller, stronger, but I'm looking for a point. Like I need them to pass.
But they got to play defense too. They got to play that. See, that's what I'm thinking.
Depends on who that next 5 is, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with. No, I don't have a problem with what you just said, but the problem is Magic Johnson was a pass first guy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to think. Magic Johnson led the league in assists for so many years, so it wasn't so.
He's still top 10 right now.
So he's gonna run my offense. I got a tandem of Jordan. I got a tandem of Kobe. I got Tim Duncan, one of the best to ever do it. I got Shaq straight dominance. He's gonna be bullying y'all. And then whenever Kobe or Jordan need a break, Allen Iverson's gonna come up there.
Yeah, Kobe was a hard one too. Like, you know, I was between LeBron
I don't know.
and Kobe.
I just made it up.
But yeah, no. I mean, honestly, like you said, all of those top 5s and 6s.
All right, guys. So before we go, let's get everyone's predictions for the game tonight. Go ahead and lock them in, and we'll see who's right. Lakers, Nuggets. Who you got, Woo?
I'm going Lakers for the series, so it's going to always be Lakers.
You got to pick who wins the game
tonight.
Today, Lakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Corey, who you got?
I got Lakers tonight, too.
All right. Antoine, who do you have?
I like Denver tonight. I think Denver goes up 2-0. But I still think the Lakers wins the series, but I think tonight Denver goes up 2-0.
Same thing. I got Denver Nuggets. Jokic, a.k.a. the Joker, going to show his dominance once again. And listen, 2-time MVP. Maybe some people think he should have been 3-time MVP. Whatever, we can discuss that another time. That does it for this show. We will see y'all next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Antoine, appreciate you, boss.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Time to go to Boston and cheer my boys on.